the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
I don't know why some people do this, but this is absolutely crazy. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, first and foremost, happy Monday to every single one of you guys. I hope you guys had a really good weekend, and I hope that everyone that actually attended the Family Fest at Soldier Field had a really good time. Before we go any further with today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I actually have a huge announcement to make. As you guys know, if you guys follow me on social media, I did post a huge announcement, something big that's going on in my life. My wife and I are expecting another baby in late January or early February, and I actually made a big announcement announcing the gender of our baby. This is definitely an exciting time in my wife and I's life and in my family's life. And I wanted to announce it on today's episode of Keek on the Mic as well. And the gender that we are having for our next baby is a baby boy. So once again, I appreciate all the love and support you guys showed me over social media when I announced it. I do this channel and this platform for the real true Bears fans out there, but it definitely feels nice to continue to receive that support. Once again, I want to give a huge shout out to my wife for once again going through all the tough pains and late nights of nausea of carrying a healthy baby boy into this world as soon as February. So once again, thank you guys so much for all the well wishes, love, and support for my wife and I as we begin this next beautiful chapter in our life. So Bears fans, as we go into this video, this is going to be a loaded episode right here on Keek on the Mic. There are so many different things that I want to talk about and just get off my chest. First and foremost, there's been some crazy things going around about Caleb Williams and a lot of bad talk. And I know it comes with the territory. He is the starting quarterback of the Chicago Bears. So that's for one, right? People like to attack Chicago Bears fans and then just the Chicago Bears organization as a whole. But for some reason, there's just been a lot of unnecessary backlash on Caleb Williams due to the interceptions during training camp practice. And some of the tweets that I've been noticing on social media are stuff like this. There's just way too much bad Caleb Williams film for me to believe he ever becomes the generational QB that literally everyone thought he would be. And then you see stuff like this. They try to delete the footage. Laugh my ass off. Caleb Williams missed every throw in this drill and threw a sassy temper tantrum. As we all know, during Family Fest, there was a play where Caleb Williams was flushed out to the right, and he literally just threw it up to no one and was literally almost intercepted. There's been some other times in drills where he's thrown interceptions here and there. But to me, why are we stressing over struggles during training camp practice or interceptions during training camp practice? The key word here is practice. This is exactly what he is supposed to do during training camp. Get rid of all those bad plays. Get rid of all those bad mistakes and interceptions during training camp practice so it doesn't happen during the real thing in the regular season. So for all the Caleb Williams haters, for all the people that are hating on Caleb Williams due to his training camp interceptions, let me break down some stats for you, not only from the 2024 season, but even dating way back to Caleb Williams during college. In 2024, he only threw 6 interceptions, and that's being sacked 68 times. That's with a bad offensive line, and that is with a bad offensive coordinator and head coach in Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus. He also went 9 straight games without interception in 2024 and had 326 attempts without an interception in 2024, which was an NFL rookie record. And once again, this is also dating back to his college days. He has never had double-digit interceptions in a season going all the way back to Oklahoma. The most interceptions, and this is his one season in the NFL and in college included, he's only has thrown 6 interceptions in 1 year. And obviously that number could change with more aggressive play calling and Ben Johnson, him pushing the ball downfield. Maybe he does throw 10 interceptions. But once again, the whole point of this is that during training camp, to me, struggles is a part of growth. throwing interceptions is a part of growth. So he shouldn't be getting a lot of backlash when you see Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix and even veteran quarterbacks doing the same thing. Remember, it is just practice. So for anyone that's really giving Caleb Williams backlash for these terrible interceptions or these terrible throws that you're seeing in practice, just take a chill pill. And here's the thing. It's probably just because he's on the Chicago Bears. If Caleb Williams was on any other team, if Caleb was on the Washington Commanders or the Denver Broncos or the Dallas Cowboys or the San Francisco 49ers, he wouldn't be getting this backlash. So that's how I take it as. Once again, I am not overly frustrated about it. I just like to defend my quarterback. I did it for Mitch Trubisky. I did it for Jay Cutler. I definitely did it for Justin Fields. And I'm going to protect Caleb Williams as long as he's the starting quarterback of the Chicago Bears. So I just want to get off my chest just really quick. Just kind of hard to understand why there is so much hate and backlash coming Caleb Williams' way. The next thing that I wanted to talk about that I found quite interesting that got me really pumped up and something that I wanted to share with you guys on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. Richard Hightower actually got an opportunity to talk to the Chicago Bears media after the Family Fest practice. And this is why he's excited for Ben Johnson. He's just talking to Bears fans as well. He said, I can tell you, we got a damn good head coach here. You guys just watch. And here is the reason why that gets me pumped up as a Bears fan. For one, Richard Hightower is one of the best assistant coaches in the National Football League, and he's also coached under some really good head coaches as well. He coached under Kyle Shanahan of the San Francisco 49ers, and everyone knows that Kyle Shanahan, even though he has not gotten over that hump and won a Super Bowl, he has been really successful as the San Francisco 49ers head coach and has won a whole lot of football games. He has also coached under Mike Shanahan of the Washington Redskins, a two-time Super Bowl champion. Much like Kyle Shanahan, they are both high-end offensive minds and just really good head coaches. He also coached under Brad Childress of the Minnesota Vikings back in 2009. And that season, they went 12-4 and made the NFC title game. So for Richard Hightower to go out of his way to say, hey, Ben Johnson is one-on-one, one of those guys that's going to possibly succeed here in Chicago. You guys just wait. We got a damn good head coach here in Chicago. Definitely gets me pumped up. And obviously the expectation is for Ben Johnson to come in here right away over the next couple of years and really take Caleb Williams to the next level and just get the Chicago Bears back to being relevant in the winning ways. And that's obviously what Ryan Poles is expecting. That's what George McCaskey is expecting. That's what the city of Chicago and Bears fans are expecting. Honestly, that's what the whole entire NFL world is expecting, is for Ben Johnson to come in here and get the Chicago Bears back in their winning ways. And the one thing I can say about Ben Johnson is that the culture of the Chicago Bears locker room and organization has already made a massive flip from what we have seen from Matt Eberflus over the last couple of years. So definitely excited to see that, Richard Hightower is excited about Ben Johnson, because I know as a Bears fan, and I'm speaking for all Bears fans out there, we are also very pumped for Ben Johnson and see what he's able to do, not only this year for the Bears organization, but for years to come as well. The last thing that I want to bring up to you guys on today's episode of Keek on the Mic before I end today's episode is it seems that Ben Johnson is beginning to, tilt his hand a little bit in regard to the left tackle battle. And as it looks right now, just due to the Karan Amagaj situation and him being injured, he couldn't have gotten injured at the worst time during a heavy competition at the left tackle spot. But it seems it's a two-way battle between Braxton Jones, the vested veteran, and Aji Trapillo, the new second-round draft pick for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears this last draft. But it seems that Ben Johnson is leaning towards Aji Trapillo. Patrick Norton of the CHGO actually believes that Ben Johnson is the one tipping his hand. And it doesn't mean that the left tackle battle is over. It's just the little interactions that he has been seeing from Ben Johnson and Aji Trapillo at practice. This is what he had to say, Bears fans. He said, Amagashi couldn't be sidelined at a worse time either. The second-year left tackle wasn't a favorite to win the job this summer anyway, but Doyle mentioned Saturday that the staff will eventually narrow its focus from the three-man competition down to two. As for Trapillo, I couldn't help but notice how much the rookie tackle was with Johnson throughout practice, from a longer conversation during stretches to the head coach checking in with him during individual drills. It looks like a blossoming connection. First and foremost, Bears fans, this doesn't surprise me whatsoever. I do want to add is that Audrey Trapillo had a little bit of a rough go during the Family Fest practice. A couple of the edge rushers were getting the best of him, especially Austin Booker beat him a couple of times during pass protection. But coming out of Boston College, Audrey Trapillo at 6'8" was known for his pass blocking ability. And you have to understand, and this is a really good point that I wanted to bring up on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. Ben Johnson was not a part of bringing in Karan Amagaji or bringing in Braxton Jones. Ben Johnson had every bit of bringing in Audrey Trapillo, which makes me believe that Audrey Trapillo has been his guy all along. It remains to be seen if he ends up going with Audrey Trapillo, but it seems that he is putting in the extra effort to make sure that Ozzy is being developed the proper way. Obviously, there's been scenarios where, Audrey Trapillo is getting more runs with the ones rather than Braxton Jones and Karan Amagaji. So it seems that everything is signaling that the second round pick in Audrey Trapillo is going to end up being the starting left tackle of the Chicago Bears. There's always that case saying, hey, he is a rookie. He may struggle early on. But once again, we talked about Ben Johnson putting his players in the best situations to succeed. That includes the offensive line. And of course, Audrey Trapillo, along with anyone, meaning Braxton Jones or Karan Amagaji playing the left tackle position, will also have the benefit of playing next to Joe Thuney as well. So overall, I am totally fine with Audrey Trapillo being the starting left tackle, even as a rookie. I definitely think he has all the tools necessary to be a solid left tackle. Of course, he will have his rookie growing pains going to get some of the better edge rushers in the National Football League, and obviously the speed of the game as well. But at 6'8" and his athletic frame as well, I think he will adjust quick, especially with the way that Ben Johnson is going to put him in the best situations to succeed. Once again, I think the competition is not over quite yet, but it definitely seems that Audrey Trapillo is one step closer in being named the starting left tackle. So Bears fans, do you agree with that Audrey Trapillo looks like he is in play to be the starting left tackle of the Chicago Bears? Let me know down below in the comment section. But other than that, Bears fans, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears that you know. But other than that, be back for our all new Bears podcast right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic.